Jainism did not accept the traditional rituals and ceremonies, and it did not accept the authority of the Vedas also. Jainism preaches five vows. It is said that only fifth vow was added by Mahavira and all other vows were added by maybe other Tirthankaras. And according to Jainism, a Jain householder has to take the following five vows. Five vows means you can take it as five principles or five doctrines, and that were ahimsa, non-violence, achaurya means not stealing, satya means not telling a lie, aparigraha means not possessing property, brahmacharya means practicing chastity. So these doctrines came to be regarded as five vows or the five principles which every Jain is supposed to take. According to Mahavira, violence is of three kinds. One, physical violence. Second, violence through words. Third one, mental violence. Physical violence like killing, causing injury or pain, that comes under violence due to physical. Then violence in words means using harsh language and wounding people by saying hard words, etc. Mental violence like ill will towards others and not doing good to others, etc. And Jains believed in the sanctity of life, that is the purity of life or the right of every living being to live. That means every living creature in the world has the right to live. Besides the five vows and the other general doctrines of Jainism, Jains are expected to have the knowledge of nine truths. According to Jain philosophy, the knowledge of these nine truths is very essential for their living, and they believe that only renunciation is the shortest way to salvation. Renunciation means sacrificing something. That means you don't need more anything, any facilities, austere life, and that will be the shortest way to salvation, that is nirvana, moksha. And these nine truths have a central place in the philosophy of Jainism. The nine truths are: one is jiva. Jiva means the all living things. Ajiva means non-living things. And punya. Punya means what all good deeds you have done, the results of that is punya. And pap means what all bad deeds, that is the deeds, the actions which you are not supposed to do, that is pap. And ashrav means what all the good deeds you have done, from that what punya you got, that is ashrav. Then sanvar. Sanvar means hindrances in the way of karma. That means you'll get a lot of hindrances, you'll get a lot of problems when you are doing good deeds. That is sanvar. And bandha. Bandha means bondage. That is binding of anything. Then nirjara. Nirjara is destruction of karmas. And moksha. At last, after completing or after passing through these all feelings, after passing through these all things, you will get moksha. And the shortest way for moksha or salvation is renunciation according to Jains. Mahavira preached that the ultimate goal of a man or a man's human being's life is to attain freedom from worldly bonds or attain moksha, that is the salvation. And it can be obtained by following some doctrines that is mentioned in the Jainism. The main doctrine of Jainism is three ratnas or three jewels. That means right faith, right knowledge and right conduct. If you follow these true jewels, or if you are a true Jain, you have to faith in these three jewels, and you have to follow these three jewels that the 24 Tirthankaras insisted the Jains to do. And if you follow these three ratnas, then a Jain can acquire knowledge and to lead a good life. So this is the first important doctrines of Jainism, that is the three ratnas. The Jains believe in the karma theory of Hinduism, and that one should be responsible for one's own karma. That means the person who is doing the karma or the action, that he will be the responsible for his own karma. And good deeds alone liberate a man from the cycle of life and death, and that will lead to the salvation. According to Mahavira, equality between men and men as well as between men and women was essential. And he preached universal brotherhood, that means everybody is equal, and he considered all men equal irrespective of their caste, creed, at any race, anything. And he believed that virtuous deeds, that means the good deeds, could achieve ultimate salvation or nirvana. All living beings, from the tiny insect to the highest form of life, should be shown compassion, and all living beings has the right to live. Mahavira believed in the immortality of the soul, that means Atma. He believed that it would not destroyed. He said that the body does but not the soul. That means the body dies but not the soul. Soul will not die. Like the Hindus, Jains also believe in moksha, that is salvation, as we have already mentioned. Salvation means freedom from the cycle of births and rebirths. This can be achieved only by leading an austere life, that is the more middle life, based on non-violence and a self-denial. To attain salvation or nirvana, it is very much necessary to practice three ratnas, that is the right faith, right knowledge, and a right action. Jains believed in penance, to die of starvation, that is called santara or sallekana, was considered a virtue. Jainism lays so much stress on severe penance that very few people could lead such an austere life. This explains why Jainism had few followers. Buddha followed a simple path, or a simple life, or a middle path of life, inspired people to lead a very simple life. His teachings have been reconstructed from stories like Jataka tales and found mainly in the Sutta Pitaka. And his message to people was that the world is full of sufferings, and a man could attain salvation by following his teachings contained in the Eightfold Path and the Four Noble Truths. According to Sri Buddha, the essence of all life lies in Four Noble Truths. That is, the world is full of suffering. The suffering has a cause. Desire is the cause of suffering. If desire is stopped, suffering can also be stopped. So he says that the world is full of suffering, and the suffering, the cause of that suffering is desire. And if you overcome the desire, or if you stop the desire, then the whole life will be able to attain moksha. There will not be any sufferings. And this suffering can be overcome by following Eightfold Path. If you follow the Eightfold Path, this will be lead you to nirvana. In Buddhism, the path that leads to removal of suffering is known as the Eightfold Path, or it is known as Ashtangika Marga, or the middle path. It is a path midway between luxurious living and hard penance. To remain away from theft, luxuries, and violence. Right thought, to remain away from empty rituals and worldly evils. Right belief, to give up desire. Right living, not to have dishonest dealings with others. Right speech, speak the truth and do not think ill of others. Right effort, work for deliverance from sins and for the welfare of others. Right collection and right meditation. Think about pious thinkings are the right collection, that is the right recollection, and right meditation is concentrate on only what is right. And the attitude towards God. According to Buddha, the whole universe was controlled by dharma, a universal law. He was silent about the existence of God, though he never formally denied it. Like Mahavira, he emphasized on non-violence. Buddha has formulated a code of conduct for his followers, like not to tell a lie, not to own property, not to consume alcoholic drinks, not to commit violence, not to indulge in corrupt practices. Like Hinduism, Buddhism also believed in the theory of karma. They believed in rebirth. The evil deeds will be punished. Man should follow a middle path. It is karma which decides the type of man's existence in the next life. It is called the wheel of existence. Now, Buddha stressed on morality also. Buddha insisted on a life based on good actions. His followers were enjoined to practice non-violence and to lead an upright life. And he also mentioned or emphasized on nirvana, the ultimate goal of life. And it is to attain nirvana or salvation is the ultimate goal of a human being. It is peaceful state of mind which conquers all diseases, makes the person free from the cycle of rebirth. In Buddha's teachings, he emphasized universal brotherhood. He preached universal brotherhood of mankind, and he wanted people to live in peace, setting aside all their differences. And he invited people of all classes and races to join Buddhism. He also had no faith in rituals and sacrifices. He said that yajnas cannot change a man's destiny. Sacrifices and rituals are empty ceremonies. According to Buddha, like Mahavira, he attached importance to sanctity of life and followed the path of non-violence, that is ahimsa. The similarities of Buddhism and Jainism. The first one is both the founders were from the same background. Both Jainism and Buddhism sought the attainment of salvation or moksha, that is the free from the cycle of birth and death. Both Jainism and Buddhism did not accept Vedas. They refused the doctrines of Vedas. They did not believe in the rituals and the traditional ceremonies followed in the religion Hinduism. One of the common features of both Jainism and Buddhism was non-violence. And non-violence was their creed. Actually, we can say that non-violence was the basic character of both this Jainism and Buddhism in the 5th and 6th centuries. Another important similarity of Buddhism and Jainism was monks and nuns of both these religions had to renounce family life. Renounce means they have to sacrifice their family life and the world. They had to lead a life of chastity.